The idea being that you can then have an array hanging in the air and pick up the circuits of the low end. So if you've got 6XLC here that are in 2 circuits,
Yep.
next to it you could hang a couple of 215 subs that pick up off that same circuit. So there's off that one and then off that one.
Okay.
So then you're only running 1 or 2 sets of NL8 up to the hang.
Okay.
And you can do them, that might be, if you weren't doing them there, for example, some of the theatre shows, you do them at the top of the hang.
Yep.
215 and a 215. And you just include that in the circuit.
Yep.
But generally, we don't use them because we don't have enough 215 subs.
Oh, okay.
So generally the pin one doesn't.
So that P6 or H6,
Yep.
that's this. Yes?
Yep.
And that's
Or that.
all that. Okay.
That's D circuit. So a P6 at the moment has a 3-way plate.
Yep.
So you've got outputs 1, 2, 3, 4,
Yep.
and then the H6 has 1, 2, and then it has a second one of those plates, which is 3, 4.
Okay. And then that relates that way.
So you've got circuit A,
Yep.
and circuit B, circuit C, circuit D, and high, mid, and low on each one. High, mid, and low.
Okay. And that all just goes chung chung. That's
Yeah.
just those two.
Yeah. So then, if,
A,
for
B,
example, in
so
a,
that's A, B. Is that right?
Yep.
Am I thinking about it the right way?
Yep.
Yeah.
And then
Okay.
if you did another 6 here,
It'd be C and D.
that's right.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes we do funky things with the hangs so that you get your gain shading in the right spots.
What do you mean?
So that will be A,
Why would you have gain
B,
shading?
C, and D. Because as a way of getting a smooth response out of a system, out of a line array system, you can gain shade the top couple of cabinets as well
From
as
the,
the bottom
processor or from the...
on the processor.
Yeah.
But if you, and unless you've got 6 or 7 different circuits to run, that doesn't work for you because So what we do is go like this. We'll go into here and then down to those two, and we come into there and there, and then down to that one. That's A, B, C, and D. And then this block gets shaded, say, minus 2 dB, and that block gets shaded minus 6.
So you've got... So that's like
So
at
that
minus
one's
2,
A,
and that one's also at minus 6.
A and A. Oh, I've written that down wrong.
Oh.
Other way around. So minus 6.
Right, yeah, so the
minus 2.
minus 6 is also at the bottom.
Yeah.
So you've got what does
B,
that kind of give you
B,
just... so that
B.
you're not blasting the front line kind
Yeah,
of thing?
yeah. So you're attenuated at the people closest to the hang, but then also here where as your low end rolls off, because what ends up happening is as the sound, there's your PA hang here, and as the sound travels further and further, the bottom end rolls off.
Yep.
And you end up with a lot of air loss, which causes the HF to roll off, and you end up with sort of 3 to 4K still travelling quite nicely, which is not so good.
Yeah.
So what they do is by attenuating the top couple of cabs, it means that if you look at the plot of the space, your bottom end starts to drop off, and what you're doing is attenuating that so that you still get smooth coverage back through the space. You got less SBL, but it's still smooth, so
Okay.
it still sounds even.
Because of the loss of efficiency in low and the not loss of efficiency in in that range.
Yeah, that's
So
right.
it kind of
yeah. So because
so they're rolling off at the same time, or they balance out.
that's right. And to get that kind of to get the low end to push a lot further, you've got to have such an enormous hang, you know, like of big X line cabs or X line subs. You know, 20 odd subs to get it to actually gain pattern control, which realistically you don't get that in very often.
Yeah.